Morning.
Doug, we are here.
Yep, can you hear me? Open up my camera. Yeah, I'm struggling hearing you. Okay, got a lot of cool music going, but that's all I can hear. Okay, I think the music stopped.
Okay, good morning, Doug. We are in live mode, so that way the job seekers can start logging into our event. And so for those of you that might be logged in already, this is Pamela Evans of Career Force. And in about 5 minutes, we will start this event. I am going to post an attendance link in the Q&A. So if you are already logged in as an attendee, feel free to go in and complete the attendance form. Your identity will be kept confidential to Career Force staff. Thank you. Welcome to the Career Force Virtual Career Fair, October 28th in the Brainerd Lakes area. We will be starting this event in approximately 2 minutes. For those of you that have logged in already, in the Q&A box, you will see a link to an attendance form. So we ask that you would please complete the attendance form so we can record your attendance in minnesotaworks.net. Your identity will be kept confidential to Career Force Center staff. Well, good morning. This is Pamela Evans with Vocational Rehabilitation Services, partner of the Minnesota Career Force. Welcome to the Brainerd Area Virtual Career Fair. We'll start with some basic housekeeping information. You will find a toolbar with closed captioning options. Sometimes the toolbar is in the upper right-hand corner. Sometimes you might find it in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Select the CC box. You can also, your will, to change the closed captioning language. There's also a Q&A box that you'll also find in your toolbar. Please click on this link and complete the short form to record your attendance in today's event so we can count you as attended in your minnesotaworks.net account. Your identity will be kept confidential to Career Force Center staff. The attendance form is also available in multiple languages. In the Q&A feature, you will be able to ask questions of our employer guests today. So if you have questions about something they've talked about or questions about other positions with their company that maybe they didn't mention, feel free to ask those questions. At this time, I would like to introduce my co-producers, Sam Kuhl from DEED, who will be running our slideshow today, and Samantha and Jama from Rural Minnesota SEP will be monitoring the Q&A section. At this time, I'd like to welcome our employers today. We have Dan's Prize, North Star Plating, and Stern Companies Incorporated. We'll also have a segment of today's event featuring the Inclusive Workforce Employer Designation, or IWE. So this information is important for both employers and job seekers. So please stay with us for the entire event today and learn more about the IWE designation and why it is beneficial for both employers and job seekers. So to start us off, I would like to introduce Doug with Dan's Prize. So Doug, you can unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about your company.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Doug Kloth, and I am the Human Resource Manager here at Dan's Prize. And this is what I look like without my mask on. So we could continue with the next slide, please. So Dan's Prize is a family of people of about 550 strong. We have two production facilities located right off of Highway 71, one in Browerville and one in Long Prairie. And we're about 30 plus years here in central Minnesota. Next slide, please. So what does Dan's Prize do? I always like to start out by saying we don't have a fabrication floor, we don't have live animals here, we don't have any of that type of stuff. we work with beef, pork, turkey, and chicken. In our products, we do things like prime rib and beef pot roast and pork carnita, fire braised ribs, fire braised chicken, and an enormous line of deli meats. If you can serve it on a sandwich, we're going to make it, from all kinds of turkey and ham, corned beef, pastrami, roast beef, Italian roast beef, all kinds of good stuff. So 98% of our product goes to restaurants. Next slide, please. So what do we offer our family members? Well, we have a wide range of insurance benefits. We have free life insurance. We have quarterly bonuses. One unique item that we actually have two kind of retirement programs. One is a traditional 401k that we have a match in, but then we also, and you don't even have to sign up for this one, once somebody starts works one full year, we're going to take 4.5% times your gross earnings, and we will put that into an account as well. And that happens automatically. We have 10 paid holidays. People who start for us they get 3 weeks of vacation. And for those that work longer, you can get up to over 6 weeks of vacation. We have annual pay increases. In fact, we just had one that was effective on Monday here. And then a brand new program that we're excited about is called Inspired Pathways. Dan's Prize is part of Hormel Foods, and Hormel Foods rolled this out, that for children or dependents of our workers, we will pay 100% of the tuition for anybody that's going to go to some type of community college or technical college. So that's free tuition for our workers, and as long as you're working here, that takes place. So we have a variety of employee events. We promote from within, so everybody has an opportunity for any type of job that we have. We want to grow talent here at Dan's Prize. And then we also have an employee education program where we will reimburse employees for whatever training they want to do outside of work. Next slide, please. So how do you become part of our family? Well, we're going to apply online at dansprizejobs.com, and jobs will be listed on there by plant, by shift, and what type of work it'll be. In fact, I will be posting a supervisor position here shortly today. For those of us, maybe there's somebody who doesn't speak English very well, or maybe they just need help with online process. Our bilingual trainers are on site. We have one in each plant, and they'll be more than happy to help fill out that application process. In fact, I have Salvador here with me right now, one of our trainers.
Me llamo Salvador. Si tienen alguna pregunta o quieren solicitar, les podemos ayudar en español también.
So I didn't get the blur turned off, but Sal's been with us a long time, and he's a great part of our team. And we have Clarissa in Browerville, and she will help as well. So, any questions for me?
Thank you, Doug. So, Jima, do we have some questions in the Q&A for Doug?
Sorry about that. Good morning. Yes. How long do you have to be employed with Dan's Prize before the tuition benefit applies to the new employees?
You need to be employed before the school semester starts, whether that's 1 day or 10 years.
Oh, wow, that's neat. And we also have a question regarding what is the range of the positions in the company?
So we have what we call our general production jobs. Then we have machine operator jobs, all kinds of mechanical jobs, refrigeration, electrical, our office staff from payroll and accounting and other admin types jobs. We ship out just about 100 million pounds of food annually, so we got a lot of purchasing and shipping as well, wide range.
Okay, thank you. And we have a few more here. What skills are needed to be hired here?
Skills, we'd like to see a minimum of 3 months of prior work history. But other than that, that's going to be it.
Okay. And what do you look for when you're interviewing? What is the most important?
The most important is if we can see a history of successful employment. That's important when answering questions, that they're truthful and honest as far as what they've done on their job, why they left their previous job, why they're looking for another job. To be successful at Dan's Prize, we're really looking for people that can be accountable, to show up to work. If people that show up to work every day, their supervisors gain their trust. Nobody has to be a speed demon, but as long as you give your best, that's how you get to be successful at Dan's Prize.
Okay, a couple more here. Someone wrote in, do you do background checks? For instance, is it for felons?
We do. We hire felons, but something for violence, for instance, that could definitely possibly weed somebody out of being a hire here.
Okay. And how about the age range? Do you hire 16 and 17-year-olds?
You do have to be 18 years old.
Okay. And how do you feel about mature workers?
Well, I'm one of those, so I think that's great.
Okay.
So, no, we hire as long as we can perform our job duties. We have people from 18. We've hired people in their early 60s that are looking for someplace close to home to retire in a couple years. So as long as we can perform the work, none of that stuff matters. Language doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't have a high school diploma. None of that.
Outstanding. One or two more questions here if you have time.
Yeah.
Okay. For those people who might be, say, a college student, someone over 18 but going to school, do you have any flexibility in your shifts?
We can offer some. All those things have to be discussed beforehand. We're busy, so we work a strong 5 days a week and sometimes 6, but going home after 4 hours, and that would have to be discussed to see how flexible we have to be.
Okay, that's fair. And what do you like best about working for the company?
Well, I've been a Hormel employee for 29 years. I started in Oklahoma City and moved around to a lot of plants. I have been here 12 years. I have turned down moving again because this is by far my favorite spot I've had in my career. What I do like best is that we still try and keep things as a family, even though we've doubled in size since I've been here. We work with people to allow them to go to appointments or things at school, all those types of things. So it's just very comfortable to work, and that's why I like being here. I like my team, like Salvador and Clarissa and Rebecca and Christy and my HR team, and we just got a lot of great people.
Okay. I had one student write in here. Are there any jobs for teenagers, so we know now over 18, in Brainerd, Minnesota, since I'm trying to stay close to home for a job? But your locations are where again?
We are in Browerville, Minnesota, and Long Prairie, Minnesota.
Okay, thank you.
And I would like to clarify just one point there. Let's say somebody starts work in Browerville. We do our internal postings back and forth, so you can move to the Long Prairie plant and vice versa. So.
Okay, thank you. And then just one final one, I think. What is your best recommendation for successfully getting an interview with Dan's Prize?
That would be to make sure the application is completely filled out, because I hate to weed people out when they don't put a work history down or or they don't put their phone number or email, I can't do anything about it. So first step is make sure everything is filled out completely. And then just maybe be patient. We have a lot of applicants, and we start in order and we go from that direction.
Okay.
So check often, I guess, is also, so the earlier you can apply for a new posting, the better your chances.
All right, thank you.
Great.
Pam,
Thank you so much, Jema. And I have a couple other questions, Doug, because I have a couple of job seekers that work in some different career fields, and one of them is the IT. So do you have your own information technology department there?
Yep, we have an individual for that. I know in the future we've discussed about adding, but that is going to be about 6 months down the road. And then our IT person works strongly with Hormel Foods. So we have a huge backing that way as well.
Awesome. Okay. So then with that partnership and with Hormel, would there be opportunity for a new entrant, maybe somebody just out of college, possibly?
Yes, there would.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, reach out to me when that time comes, because I may have some candidates, because yeah, I work with students, and certainly some of my partners at the Career Force Center work with students that might be coming out of college as well. The other question I have is about graphic design. Do you have your own graphic design department?
That is all handled through Hormel Foods.
Okay. And one other question I have in relationship to Hormel Foods, because I know Hormel Foods is just huge. And so if somebody were working at Dan's Prize and maybe they were taking college classes and they got some advanced degree, would there be opportunities to transfer to one of your Hormel corporate offices?
For exempt positions, yes, you could transfer to any of our 45 facilities as different jobs or whatever come about.
Awesome. All right. So thank you so much. Any final questions, Jema, for Doug?
the one other question that I had was about your application tracking system. You said that people need to be patient, but are there any problems that you're aware of with people when they're trying to post their resume, or do you only use the application?
You could post your resume on the application, and that would take care of the work history and those types of things. So you still have to go through dansprizejobs.com.
Okay, thank you.
And attach that.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you so much, Doug. And wow, we learned a lot of things about Dan's Prize today, and so a great place to work, it sounds like, and some great benefits. And I've been there myself, very nice facility, well run. So encourage you to, check that out, put in your application. All right, at this time, I would like to introduce Cindy with North Star Plating based in Brainerd.
Good morning. My name is Cindy Bolig, and I'm the Human Resource Coordinator for North Star Plating. North Star Plating is a subsidiary of Keystone Automotive, and LKQ is our parent company. We've been in business. Next slide. Here's next. This is our mission statement. We're a global distributor of vehicle parts and accessories for body shops. We are a global company. We have all of the United States. We have facilities in Europe. We had Mexico and Canada. So next slide. North Star Plating in Brainerd has produced and sold a variety of bumpers since 1968. We've been in business over 50 years, and we employ about 100 people. Currently, it's probably down a little bit from that number, but it's close. North Star Plating merged with Keystone Automotive in 1997, which at that time we were one of the largest domestic suppliers of aftermarket and auto body supplies. We have locations that have transmissions, engines, airbags, wheels, paint and body supplies throughout our whole company. And then in October of 2007, we were acquired by LKQ. And so our company is probably right now about 50,000 employees strong. We currently at North Star Plating, we recycle and we chrome plate bumpers. We do a variety of bumpers. We do our CAPA certified bumpers, which we get stampings from a facility in Ohio. They come here, we polish them, and we plate them, and we package them and ship them to a distribution center. And we also do antique stampings, which we get from overseas. And they are for old antique cars like 55, 56, 57, you know, the older cars. And we polish and chrome plate them and sell them to our distributor that sell to customers that need that type of bumpers. We also have a custom chrome area that we do bumpers for, or we do like hood ornaments, we do trim pieces, we do any chroming that the car needs for to make it look like brand new. And in some cases, when we finish the products, they look better than brand new. So we're pretty proud of that. Next slide. We have different types of positions here. We have sandblasting, where they have to sandblast the bumpers and prep them to be straightened. Some of them have to be straightened. They're bent, need some extra work there. They get ground after that. They get polished and plated. And so sometimes they need to be welded. They need to be patched and welded, so like fabrication. So there's also those sorts of positions. After it goes through each process, then it would get plated, packaged, and then either sent back to the customer or sent out to our distribution centers. We have a variety of shifts. We have first, second, and third. We currently have, for our plating line, we have been running 4 10-hour days, so they kind of overlap. So meaning they work 4 days and then they have 3 days off. So a lot of the guys really like that flexibility, and working that. We do promote from within, and as much as we possibly can. So we post internally. If someone is in one position, they want to apply for another position, we interview outside, and we also interview the person that's inside. We look at that person and then make a decision on the person that we feel would be the best person for the job, which then in turn, that will probably, you know, if it was an internal person, that would also open up a position that maybe one of those people that interviewed for that position might be interested in the other position. So we kind of try to be a little bit flexible, but we do try to promote from within on positions that open up, and then we fill the other ones. So we have a variety, like I said, of shifts. We can do, some of our shifts are like 6, or some are 5 to 1:30, some are 6 to 2:30. First shift could be like 4 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon or 2:30, and then 2 till 12:30 midnight. So that's like on the plating line. So we have a variety of options that might work for people and their families or their schedules and whatnot. Next slide. And we're really committed to quality in everything that we do, in our processes, in our work, and our customers are very, very important to us, whether they're internal customers or external customers. So next slide. Here at Keystone North Star LKQ, we have a very excellent benefit package. We've got PTO, paid time off. We've got medical, dental, and vision insurance. We have 401k with a company match. They've changed that over the year. It's about 4% of what the company matches. Company paid life insurance up to like $25,000. And you can take out additional term life insurance. We have short-term disability. Hang on. Short-term disability, long-term disability, and employee assistance plan. So if anyone's interested, we have a, next slide. We have a website that has our jobs posted that you can go to. It's www.lkqcorp.com/careers. There's some postings out there. You can also, you can email me a resume with your information. We can set up an interview that way. You can give me a call if you like, if there's more information that you would like. My number is posted there, and we can just chat about, you know, what you would be interested in, what openings are available, and we're real flexible about what we can do as far as options, as far as getting an interview set up. So. Thank you. Any questions for me?
We have a couple of questions. One of them is, do you have weekend shifts for high school students?
You know, that is a good question. Right now, we're not open on the weekends. We're Monday through Friday currently.
Okay. So how would this job work for teens in high school? Do you do any summer positions, for instance?
Occasionally in the summer, we have brought in our age that we can bring people in is 18, and we have brought college students in before in the summer. In fact, our GM currently that we have here, he was going to college in Florida, and he would come back here in the summers and would work out in a warehouse, packaging bumpers or staging bumpers or loading trucks. And he probably worked 3 different summers before he came back here and worked at a position out back on the plating line. And so that's where he started out, and currently he's our GM now. So we have done that in the past. It depends on if there's an opening.
Okay. And can you tell me, are there any part-time positions available then?
We've had some part-time positions in the past. We have, if you work 30 hours here, you're considered full-time. But we have had people that have worked part-time before, and we are looking at adding some things like that back in to be able to make it a little bit more flexible for people.
Okay. Does a 30-hour a week position qualify for benefits then?
Yes, it does.
Well, that's excellent.
Yes.
Can you tell? Go ahead.
It qualifies for all the benefits. It qualifies for PTO, life insurance, everything. 30 hours is actually considered a full-time position.
Okay. And what skills are needed coming in to your corporation?
Actually, if they have any kind of auto body experience, that would be helpful. Like, but more than that, I think an interest in cars would be helpful. But mostly the attitude, and it's not a skill, but an attitude of wanting to learn and enjoying working with their hands. I think that's another big part. And just, some people are real hands-on and enjoy working with their hands, and there's a lot of things that we can teach them here. So I think the basic thing would just be the attitude of wanting to learn is one of the biggest things.
Okay, so you actually provide a lot of the training?
We do. Yes, we do. We have a lot on-the-job training for people here.
Okay, great. That is a really neat story about the progression from laborer to general manager, by the way.
Yeah.
So, and that person, I'm sure, learned a lot both at school and on the job.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
This is kind of an off-the-wall one, but are there any remote work opportunities available in your corporate structure, perhaps?
I know a lot of our corporate employees that, we have kind of a unique structure. We have some of our corporate people are in Chicago, and some of our corporate other people are in Nashville. And so there's a variety of corporate positions at those locations that are working remotely. Okay. Currently here we have no remote workers. Not saying that we couldn't work remotely, it just hasn't been where we've needed to or necessarily wanted to. So.
And we have a question here asking about the pay range for your various positions.
We have a starting pay range of $13.30, which would be like a DA polisher just starting out with no experience. And then from there, if you're on, this is something that we just added. If you're on second shift, there is $1 an hour differential. And if you're on third shift, which we don't have any DAers on third, but I'm just using this as an example, there's a $1.50 differential shift premium for being on a third shift. So, but in starting out, and it goes from $13.30, and it probably, depending on the position and the job, it can go anywhere from $13.30 to probably $20 an hour.
Okay. How does your company view mature workers? And then as a coordinated question, how physical is the work there?
There's a lot of lifting because we do bumpers, and they're probably 35, 40 pounds a bumper, and they're lifting them up quite frequently on a rack where they would be working on them, either DAing them, polishing them. So you would need to have a lot of upper body, probably strength, be able to lift 40 pounds over a period of 8 or 10 hours quite frequently. So I guess that just is kind of more up to the individual. I would say in our warehouse, they're moving bumpers, lifting them quite frequently. But I think it would be up to the individual, you know, just if they would feel comfortable doing that. And some of the positions are on their feet, could be 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, you know, so it would vary on what they would feel comfortable doing.
Okay. And how about, what's the qualification for background checks for felon friendly?
Well, what we tell our people is we do background checks. And what we tell them is to disclose anything on the application part, to disclose anything that they have out there. And we have not seen anyone that has not passed their background as long as they've disclosed it. However, I do know that, you know, if there's some extreme violent type of a crime, they probably would, you know, look at that a little hesitant if it was in the past 5 years.
Okay. And what is your best recommendation for successfully getting an interview?
Well, I would say, first of all, make sure to, of course, have a current phone number on your application. And if you send in a resume to my email, make sure your information is all accessible. We look at I would look at that and make phone calls. Make sure to fill out to the best of your ability, your job history, and why you would be interested in working here. And if you do it online, make sure that you complete your application. We've had a few people that have gone out to our website and clicked into the application and then not filled it out. So I would say if you click in, make sure to fill it out all the way through, and so that it would be available for me to view.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. And we have one other question here. What do you like best about working for the company, Cindy?
I guess I like the variety. I love the people, but I like the variety of work. When I started out here, I started out as like a person just working in the office, AP, helping out, and then I eventually took over as office manager, and then after that I took over as HR coordinator. So I've kind of been, over the years, I've took on different positions. And so I think I just celebrated my 35-year anniversary here, which is, I'm just like, can't believe 35 years went by that fast. But it's like the time flies. Every day is different, and I like the variety, but I love the people. So I think that's what I like about working here.
And somebody wrote into you, wow, that's awesome, congratulations, and that certainly is. So that's neat.
Yeah.
One last question. I think we have some students on today, and I'd just like you to speak a little bit to, do you look at people's social media background when they're applying?
You know, I really don't. I haven't in the past. I look at more at their application when they come in, and the supervisors also, when they take them back and they'll show them the jobs, show them, you know, what it looks like, the PPE that they have to wear, because they have to wear respirators so they can't be claustrophobic, you know, if they're working in the shop. A lot of them wear PAPR units, which is a face mask and a hood, depending on their job. So they can't wear contacts. They have to wear safety glasses. And so we kind of look at what they think about about the job once they see the job. You know, sometimes the supervisor will even let them, you know, shadow with the person that's working there and just watch them for a little bit. And so they can see what they're doing, see if it's anything that they would be interested in, you know, trying. It's definitely hard work, you know, for the guys, but the guys, it's pretty stable. So they know every week, you know, generally speaking, they will have a paycheck. And when they go home, they've got their weekends, and they really like that.
Thank you. Kim, that's all the questions we have right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Cindy, and thank you, Jema, for engaging us with the questions. At this time, I'd like to introduce Maggie from Stern Companies Incorporated in Baxter.
Good morning. Hey, thank you guys for coming today and for having me. And thank you, Pam and Sam, all of you for setting this up for us. Like she said, my name is Maggie Lawson, and I work for Stern Companies. I've been with the company now for about 3.5 years. Started out as a project coordinator, took a little break, came back as their HR generalist, and loving my job. Stern Company actually consists of 3 locations. So we have our Stern Assembly, which is in Brainerd. We have Stern Industries, which is in Baxter. And we have a production in Hoyt Lakes, Minnesota as well. So a little bit of what we do, starting out with our employees, we offer them a diverse opportunity, including personnel in all sales, engineering, production, machine operating, assembly, quality, logistics, and data entry. What Stern does is we fill a niche in the plastics and polymers manufacturing industry. We offer customers a single source solution for all their polymer component needs with strong supplier bases in manufacturing and assembling facilities. And we're right on in a path for continued success. So in our different locations, we have different things going on. In our Brainerd location, we are rotomolders. This is where most of our opportunities are. We take a powdered plastic and we mold it into a finished part. We work with hundreds of different customers, some many people have heard of, and some you may never have heard of and don't know what the parts necessarily are, but understanding the component that goes into it to make the finished product. Our Baxter location is more office. Our project coordinators, our salesmen, data entry, those folks are located in Baxter. We also have assembly in our Baxter location. Hoyt Lakes has rotomolding, thermoforming, and fiberglassing going on. So our mission is to be our customers' most valued supplier. Next slide. Some of the employee perks that we offer. So we do offer all the traditional benefits. We have medical and dental, life insurance, short-term disability accident coverage, the FSA and HSAs, our 401k. We do profit sharing. We have ID theft, prepaid legal, paid vacations. We have 7 paid holidays every year, and we do welcome overtime. So though we do not work weekends, there is opportunities usually on Saturdays for folks that want to, can volunteer and come in and do some overtime. Currently, we are hiring for machine operators and secondary operators on all 3 shifts, both in our Brainerd location and our Hoyt Lakes location. In these roles, you work independently or with a team to ensure the completion of production requirements. This is accomplished by loading and unloading molds, operating the rotational molding machinery, and in any other related equipment, conducting secondary operations to the molding components, and conducting final assemblies. So with rotomolding, it can be anything from running the machines themselves all the way down to that secondary work. Our machine operators do learn the whole process. We want our operators to be well educated in what they are doing, so we do a lot of training. We work closely with our employees to make sure that they understand rotomolding and the different processes that go into it. Secondary folks will do only secondary work, so they would not be running up on the machine and running up and pulling parts, things like that. They would be doing more of the trimming, some routering, maybe putting on decals. They could be doing full assemblies on parts, things like that. We believe in education, so we do have some programs in place within our organization where you can begin to learn and grow. So we have different levels of machine operators. The more people want to put into it, the more they want to grow, the more they want to learn, the higher up they can go in the organization. We get all the way up to our rock stars, where we take the ones that we can see that drive to learn more and bring them more into learning some leadership skills. We just want you to feel that this is a career for you and that you enjoy your job and enjoy coming to work every day. So if this is something that you would possibly be interested in, there's multiple ways to apply. You can call me directly. My number is 218-824-8984, or you can send me your information to my email, maggie.wassett@sternindustries.com. I will reach out to you no matter what your qualifications are, because we do believe in training within. So if it's something that you've never done before, if you have that drive and that excitement, we will talk. We will see if this is something that will be a good fit for you. You can also apply at www.sternindustries.com, click on employment, and then join our team. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Great, thank you, Maggie. So Jima, are there some questions in the Q&A for Maggie?
Yes. Do you offer internships for plastic engineering students?
That would be something that we would look at, yes.
Okay, excellent. And just coming in, what skills are needed?
Well, you know, we really look for people that are detail-oriented, that show that excitement and drive to learn something new. Rotomolding is not necessarily something that a lot of people have experience with, so we're going to do training on the job. But you've got to be willing to learn and show excitement in learning.
Okay. And do you hire 16 and 17-year-olds?
No, you have to be 18.
Okay. Are there part-time positions available?
Yes, we would look at part-time positions as well.
Okay. And can you tell me what your best recommendation is for successfully getting an interview?
You know, definitely make sure that your information is on, no matter which way you contact me, whether you leave me a voicemail, send me an email. Make sure your name, your phone number is available on there. I do try to reach out to almost everybody that applies. Even if I don't see the work, the experience there in manufacturing, I will always do my best to give everybody a call.
Okay. And let's see what else we have here. Do you do background checks with regard to felons?
No, we do not.
And does your company view, how does your company view mature workers?
Well, I believe that if they're, you know, everybody, if they feel they can do the job, should be given the opportunity. I will tell people that it is extremely physical work as a machine operator. Secondary is still quite physical, but the machine operators really are doing a lot of heavy lifting. They're doing a lot of up and down stairs, a lot of kneeling down, lifting above their heads, a lot of push-pull. So when I'm meeting with somebody and interviewing, I will take them on a small tour as best I can now with COVID regulations, but to show them a little bit of what that looks like. So if it's something that they feel comfortable, that they feel they can handle the requirements of the job, we'll go from there.
Okay. And what are you looking for when you're interviewing? What's most important, Maggie?
I am looking for people that follow and represent our core values. We have 5 core values that we build this business around. So I'm looking at people that show respect. I look for people that have integrity. Look for teamwork. Teamwork is a core value of ours. We're looking for folks that are growth-minded for themselves and for the company. And we are also looking for people that will be customer-focused.
Okay. Do you still make kayaks?
We do not.
Okay. That was one of the questions that came in here. Okay. How often is an employee eligible for a pay increase? Do you do regular reviews?
We do annual reviews, but increases do not necessarily go on those reviews. So for the machine operators and secondary positions, we have what's called an A, B, and C. We'll use the machine operators as an example. When they start out, they're at an operator C because you're new. You don't really know the processes. You don't know the techniques. The more you grow and the more you learn and the more you show excitement for the role, you can become a B operator and A operator. That is increase in pay with each one. So it really depends on the person and what kind of drive they have for the job.
Okay. You mentioned that you're looking right now for machine operators and secondary operators on all 3 shifts. What are the starting pay ranges for those positions?
First shift, machine operators on first shift start at 14. Second shift is $14.50. Third shift is $15. Secondary operators are $1 less, so $13, $13.50, and $14.
Okay. Thank you. Are there items that you want to add that I haven't asked about?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. Pam, do you have any questions for Maggie?
Yes, I have just a couple regarding like IT. Do you have IT staff in either of your Brainerd or Baxter facilities?
We do have one gentleman that does IT for us.
Okay.
In our department, yeah.
Okay.
But I do not have any opportunities at this time.
Okay, yep. And what about graphic design? Do you have your own graphic designers on staff, or is that something you contract out?
Yeah, we do not have graphic designers.
Okay, all right.
I have a couple more questions that came in. Do we have time, Pam?
Yes, we could do probably one more question.
Okay. How do these positions look differently with COVID right now? Is there required PPE while working?
Yes, so we do follow the regulations with the masks. Machine operators and secondary at times will be close together and at times work farther apart from each other. So when anybody is close contact with others, we will be sure to wear our masks. If they are working in a location where they're alone and don't have anybody around, they are allowed to take the mask down due to the conditions in the plant. It can get very hot out there. But if anybody were to walk up to them or if they were to leave their station to go to the bathroom or to the break room, or they would have to have their mask back on.
Okay, so very similar to many other places. Thank you. Thanks, Pam.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Maggie. All right, our last speaker that I'd like to introduce today is Chet Bodine from DEED, who will tell us more about the Inclusive Workforce Employer Designation. So,
thanks, Pam, and good afternoon, everybody. Or I'm sorry, good morning. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to those on the line about the IWE designation and talk about the organizations in the North Central area who have been designated as inclusive workforce employers and are, done some work to prepare to manage a multicultural workplace and to attract and retain more diversity to their organization. Next slide, please. So for job seekers that are interested in learning more about employers who have attained the IWE designation, here are the criteria that a business has met prior to receiving the designation. So the first thing they've done is express a commitment to an inclusive workplace in their stated values, missions, or policies. Second, they've done an assessment internally to understand really how these concepts influence their culture currently and where there's room for improvement. Three, they've provided diversity, equity, inclusion education for both staff and leadership. And then finally, they are allocating resources to support and sustain an inclusive and equitable workplace. So companies that have met this criteria then apply for the inclusive workforce designation. You know, we often work with these employers through this process. We recommend different resources to help them meet each criteria because when we are promoting them to job seekers, we want to make sure that they have, you know, the right tools and resources to be able to manage a multicultural workplace and succeed in that and set up our job seekers for success. Next slide, please. If you'd like to learn more about the Inclusive Workforce Employer Designation, we do have a web page that we will put in the Q&A box, the link for it. But basically, this is where employers go to sign up for the process. There's a toolkit there with resources for each step. There's some promotional material, and you can also go and, if you're a job seeker, you can go see which employers are IWE employers in your area, if you'd like to follow up with them. Next slide. So in the North Central area, we have 2 employers who are inclusive workforce employers, have been through this process and taken a lot of steps to build a more inclusive culture. The first is Essentia Health, and we have a link there to their careers page if you'd like to go take a look at it. Currently, they have 79 openings on minnesotaworks.net. So if you're a minnesotaworks.net user, you registered for this through that platform, you can search for those jobs by typing in Essentia Health, and it will show up. And if you'd like to learn more about the steps that Essentia Health has taken to become an inclusive workforce employer, that's available on the web page that we're going to share the link for here shortly. Second, in the North Central region, our second inclusive workforce employer is Central Lakes College. So Central Lakes College has taken a number of steps to develop an inclusive and equitable workplace culture. To learn more about the current openings that they have, we have a link here on this slide or a web address. Perhaps we can put those in the chat as well so that job seekers can click on those directly. But I encourage you to go visit their career site as well. And they have a web page within their website that talks about the efforts that they've undertaken in areas of inclusion and equity. And I'd encourage you to go visit that as well to see how they're setting up both students and employees for success. Next page, please. I mentioned you can search for IWE employers on minnesotaworks.net. Those are the only 2 in our area right now. So here's just a screenshot of how you would search for that by typing in Essentia here in the keyword search. Now Essentia Health has a large presence in the North Central region, but they also are located in the Duluth area and west into the Fargo-Moorhead area. So if you're looking for jobs just in North Central, I'd recommend that you set that range limit on those jobs when you're searching to this area. Okay, well, that's all I have on the IWE employers right now. I'm going to put these web address links in the Q&A box so that job seekers can go learn more about the designation and what companies are doing to reach that status. But in the meantime, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Chet, I do have a question on the Q&A for you. And that is, how long is the typical process to be an IWE certified employer?
You know, it really depends on, you know, what the employer has already done. We have some that have already done a lot of work in this area. And in that case, you know, we just want to be able to recognize them for, you know, their commitment to these principles and share that, you know, share that with job seekers that, you know, that these employers welcome people of all backgrounds and are actively like looking for ways to successfully manage, you know, multicultural workplace. And so some companies that have already done a lot of work in this area, it's just a matter of filling out the application. Some who are just getting started and trying to learn more about what they can do to build a more inclusive workplace, you know, it takes a little bit more time. But we're here, Career Force staff, myself and others are here to work with those employers and provide resources, recommendations. We have trainers, we have training resources in the region that we have developed partnerships with at CLC, at Minnesota State Community Technical College. So, you know, we try to make the process both easy to get involved with. You know, we don't want it to be, you know, a difficult process. We just want to be able to provide resources for employers who are looking to take steps to be more inclusive.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Chet. So yes, our employers that are on the event today, certainly take a look at the website. Feel free to reach out to Chet for more information if you need some assistance. And I know some of you are probably already doing some great things already. So I want to thank you to all our employers who presented today, and also thank you to those that attended our event. Attendees that have not yet completed the attendance form, please do so now. Go into your Q&A and there is a link for the attendance form. Your identity will be kept confidential to Career Force staff. So we encourage you to visit www.careerforcemn.com to search for upcoming events such as other virtual career fairs, job clubs, career planning sessions, job seeking skills workshops, and more. Next slide, please. If you've been unable to attend some of our online events, you can also watch recordings on YouTube. So go into www.careerforcemn.com, select for career seekers, then virtual and interactive services, and you'll find recorded events. Next slide, please. For employers to post job openings and job seekers to post your resume and build a profile and search for job openings, go to minnesotaworks.net and register. Employers can do a search for resumes as well as post their positions, and job seekers can both do a search and post their resume. And this page here is an example of somebody that put in a job search criteria and then a list of job postings that came up as a result of their criteria. Next slide, please. A great opportunity for training. This is limited time, no charge. So this can be beneficial for both job seekers wanting to enhance their skills to a potential employer, but it also can be used by employers if they want to build their workforce skills. Go to our website at careerforcemn.com/Coursera to see learning opportunities. There are over 3,800 courses from over 200 universities and businesses. I know a job seeker who's taking a class from Yale University. So how awesome is that? At no charge. You have to sign up by December 31st. The classes are available until March 31st. It doesn't go on a traditional semester start, so you can get started at any point in time. So I'd encourage you to get registered on there and check out the opportunities. Next slide, please. Connect with us at the Career Force Center on any of our social media sites, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube. Next slide. If you need some individual job search assistance, please contact a Career Force Center near you. To find a Career Force Center, you can go to careerforcemn.com/locations. Next slide, please. And this event was brought to you by the partners of the Little Falls, Wadena, and Brainerd Career Force locations. This includes rural Minnesota SEP, Deed Job Service, Vocational Rehabilitation Services, and State Services for the Blind. Please contact these offices for job search and career planning assistance. And I want to thank you to all of our employers and our job seekers for attending today. I am going to post a link with all the application websites right now into the Q&A, so they're all summed up at the very bottom of the Q&A for you. So this concludes today's virtual career fair. Thank you so much for attending.